guys, I'm really excited today to teach you how to pot a ZZ plant into a new pot. These would be the same instructions you use if you're repotting a ZZ plant, because if you'll notice, the ZZ plant is already in a disposable pot that I got from the greenhouse. So the things you're going to need when you are ready to pot a new plant is going to be potting soil. I have the Pico organic potting soil that I got from a local grocer. It's kind of difficult to find soil locally unless you have a nursery during the winter seasons, which right now, when I'm filming this, it's November, because it's not as common to be planting things during the winter. This isn't not my favorite soil actually, but it works great. It's just not quite as lightweight, and it is a little more dense, it holds more water, and it's a little more spongy than I normally like. When you're looking for a good soil, I would recommend looking in the spring and summer and stocking up, and look for ingredients like perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss. Those are all lightweight components of soils that are really great. So the things that I have are soil. I have a watering can to help moisten my soil. I have a scoop, a measuring cup to help scoop my soil. I have a little spray bottle to help just mist the soil. And then I have my new plant. So the first thing you're going to do is fill a little bit of this pot, the new pot, with soil. If you'll notice, I have picked a pot with a draining hole. You can see it right here. This is really important, and you can watch my YouTube video from last week on why it's important to pick a pot with draining hole, and also what to do if your pot doesn't have a draining hole. So I'm going to take this pot, and if you'll notice, this ZZ plant pot is smaller, much smaller than this pot, and that's okay because ZZ plants really grow to fill whatever pot they're in. Most plants do, ZZ plants do this pretty rapidly. So this ZZ plant, if I squeeze it, I can actually feel the roots kind of starting to form around the shape of this pot. So it'll actually be good and encourage growth when I transport it into a bigger pot. So since this is smaller though, I'm going to look and see if I want the top of the ZZ plant, the top of this pot to be where this pot is. I'm gonna wanna fill it to soil about to the top of this dark gray line. So I have that bottom cushioning. So I'm gonna start by doing that. And with each layer of soil, this soil is very dry and powdery. It's gonna get kind of messy. So with each scoop or two of soil, I'm actually gonna pour a little bit of water in, because I want to, when I first transport the plant to new pot, it's going to, I'm going to break the roots, you'll see in a little bit, and it's going to start to encourage growth. So we want the soil that we planted in to already have the nutrients and moisture that it needs. So I'm just using the handle of my measuring cup to kind of mix that water in, and it's actually, water's like going to pour on the table a little bit, but that's okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and that's about where I want the ZZ plant to sit, if you can see it. I might give it another scoop or two of another half a scoop of soil, and then I'll call it good. I'm going to start putting the plant in. So I had plenty of water the first time, so I'll just mix that around with the already moist soil in there. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ZZ plant. One thing you want to make sure you're not doing when you're repotting plants is you don't want to pull them by their stems or anything like that, because that's where the nutrients form. If you've waited a long time to repot your plants and they've really molded to the form of the pot, you might have to break the pot or even use scissors. The last time I repotted a ZZ plant, I had to use scissors to cut it out of the pot it was in. But this one, there's enough give, and it hasn't quite formed the whole pot, that it'll be fine. So you can actually just tilt it upside down like this. And you can see that the roots, like I mentioned, have kind of formed the way the pot was. You can also see these little bulbs right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's at the base of these leaves, and that's actually where the ZZ plants start to grow. So one of the most important things when you're repotting a plant is you want to go underneath and just split the root form a little bit. So it's gonna get kind of messy because all these plants that are here in a nice little bundle fall apart a little. But you want to split it and break some of those roots, because that actually encourages growth, which is what you want when you place it in a new pot. So I just snapped some of those roots And then I'm gonna set the plant inside. And then I'm gonna take my scoop and I'm just gonna fill around. As you can see, my table gets really nice and messy. So like I said, when you're repotting a plant, things are gonna get kind of messy, but it's not very difficult. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's really important to do this to your plant before it outgrows its container too much.